Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to discuss 11 steps to impress your boss and thrive in your job. All right, so managing up while you work from home can foster positive relationships with those above you and give you your career a boost. All right, so managing a relationship with your bosses can be as important as tackling your task list, tuning in to their preferences. Communicating skillfully and earning their trust with stellar work can improve your chances at recognition, raises, and promotions. The mindset known as managing up is a part of your job, said Gorick. I don't know his last name. And then a career coach for Harvard students and the author of a book. Here is some of the work habits that can foster positive relationships up the chain. Paddle in the same direction. Make sure you and your manager are working toward a common objective. You're making micro decisions all day on how to allocate your time. So review your to-do list with your manager and make sure your work priorities align. You also want to be sure of what, how, and by when. Make sure you have all your details and due dates when your boss assigns something new. Precision is more critical in remote work because it is not as easy to check in casually for clarification. Ambiguity is almost guaranteed to lead to misunderstandings, and redoing work isn't fun for anyone. I do kind of mention that in my book, The Great Promotion, where we actually are going to be, I like to call it transparent and communicate effectively, right? So especially when you're working from home, because you can't see your boss and your boss can't really see you. So you want to make sure that you're always communicating. And like I like how they said, be sure of the what, how, and by when. You want to be clear on everything that it is that are your what your boss expects of you, but also your expectations for those below you, right? You want to make sure that you're being clear and communicating effectively. So as part of a new assignment, suggest a time and type of check-in. For example, I'll take a stab at it by this Friday and send you an outline for your feedback. Or can we schedule a short status meeting for next week? By making the suggestion yourself, you can specify the time frame and format that allow you to do your best work. Check in before fully diving in. Don't do the 5-hour task before you know the 5-minute version is on the right track. I think I love that, especially when you're working from home, because you can end up in a a rabbit hole, because the person can't see you and you can't see them. So yes, I love that. Don't do the 5-hour task before you know the 5-minute version is on the right track. So yes, definitely you want to check in, you want to get clarification of the expectations, of the what, how, and by when. I love that. That was really great. All right. So next is adapt to your manager's style. Pay attention and deliver your work in a way your boss prefers. Does your manager love to delve into the data with you? Get ready for that conversation. Does he or she prefer one-page write-ups to PowerPoint slide decks? Providing what your manager is looking for will make both of your jobs smoother. I absolutely 100% agree. I used to tell my team, check the temperature. Right? So you want to check the temperature of the chat. You want to check the temperature with your boss. You know, you want to, you may not be acquainted personally, but you do kind of want to check in with each other, and you should be able to tell what's going on, so that you can also follow up and find out that what, how, and by when, right? And then you definitely want to adapt to their style. Right? Because if you have a style that does not match your manager's style, it does not matter how great your work is. Absolutely not. Because you're never answering their question, right? I tell people in my personal life, it's like someone gives you a gift that you never asked for. Is it really a gift, right? So you at least have to start out by adopting that manager's style before you can start introducing, your style per se. So absolutely. At first I was going to think, no, I don't do that. Told you, stubborn little bird. But yeah, actually I do that. I have no choice but to do that. Especially if you're looking for a promotion. I mean, you have to be flexible. You have to know how to work with different people and reach them, especially because we're communicating work from home. We're communicating in writing. And so some people do not like to read, right? Some people don't read at all. So you want to make sure that you're communicating. I worked with someone, they always wanted to talk on the phone. Drove me nuts because I love multitasking. So I can't be on the phone with you because I have 3 other things I want to do, right? But I did absolutely meet their need, right? So I would carve out that time for them, even if it meant that I was talking to them after hours, because of the fact that I had to make sure that I carved out that time for them in order to be that great team player. So I talk about that. I don't know if I talk about it in a video or in my book. All the products are in the link, but I do promote the idea of being a likable teammate. It doesn't mean that you're a yes person per se and doing what everybody wants you to do, but you definitely want to be someone that is easy to work with and easy to get along with others, right? So yeah, you do want, and that means you have to adapt. And if it's your manager and you want to keep the job and or be referred for promotions, you absolutely want to adapt to your manager's style. Okay. All right. So it says, do it before being asked. Understanding your responsibilities and doing them at the highest level is one key to managers' happiness. It says, she offered an example from her own team. Way down on my list was checking in to see if all our employee laptops were up to date. Before I got to that item, though, her asset manager came to her with a spreadsheet of the company's laptops, noting which were near the end of service life. He had also already researched new models to buy and found multiple price quotes for the replacements. I would have asked him about it, but the fact that he beat me to it is great. All I had to do was review it and sign off. Yeah, that's definitely Kendra thing. When you're, and I talk about this in a great promotion, you're going to slow down when I get excited, blah, 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 right? So when you're working, you should definitely be thinking about the bigger picture. When you're thinking about the bigger picture, that means that that unpopular job, like checking on these computers, is going to be a task that you're going to take on. And to take on that task before being asked works light years, and absolutely how I got promoted 4 times in 6 months and received a bonus, right? So at my work from home job. So I'm totally self-plugging today. That's all I'm doing. I'm just like, go get my book, right? But anyways, no, but this is a good article. This article is like pushing me to do it. But yes, I definitely agree with being able to think ahead, doing it before being asked. I mean, you want, it's a fine line, right? But I like this line. If it's an unpopular job and you do it before being asked, I promise you, you will get the promotion. I promise you that you will have job security. I promise you that they will miss you. I promise you that it's a good thing, right? So yeah. So then the next tip that the author brings up is bring recommendations. When asking your manager for guidance on an issue, especially the options you thought about, which you prefer and why. This shows you've done the research, understand the details, and can smartly evaluate trade-offs. It also lets your boss choose among options rather than have to come up with them. When you ask for feedback or decision, specify a due date. Don't let them put off a decision for later, because later can turn into never. I'm going to repeat that. Don't let them put off a decision for later, because later can turn into never. I like that. I want to use that for life, right? So Let your manager know that you need feedback by 5 p.m. Tuesday, for example, so you can send a report out at 5 p.m. Wednesday, or that if you don't hear back by a certain time, reasonable, you'll move forward with your plan. So I think that's a great idea. Again, it just goes back to, well, these kind of connect quite a few things that this author has already mentioned, because if you're doing things before it's asked and you're asking, and then you go in and you're asking for feedback, to give those deadlines, again, has to do with communication, and you're connecting back to the what, how, and by when. Again, your relationship with your boss is a relationship, right? The two of you should be equally benefiting from each other. They should be benefiting you as well as you are benefiting them. You're making their job easier, and they are instructing you on what they need for you to make their job easier, right? So you guys are working off of each other. So definitely, I believe any and all managers will understand, and I definitely have always appreciated that. Give me that time when you need it back so I can get it back to you, because it might not be that important to me. And not saying that you're not important, but I have like a lot of things on my table. Let me know when you need this by. So I definitely agree with that. All right, so it says no surprises. Never surprise your boss, especially with bad news. The adage, tell me early, I'm your friend. Tell me late, I'm your critic. Ooh, still holds. I never heard that one, but tell me early, I'm your friend. Tell me late, I'm your critic. I love that. And I have experienced that. On one of my jobs, there was a policy that I didn't know about, but they had put me in a position. I got a promotion. I didn't know. Right. So it wasn't a hard critique, right? Because they understood, my boss understood she just got this position, but it was a critique, right? Rather, where if I would have said to him XYZ occurred, right, then it simply would have been, thanks Kendra for sharing that, right? And then, hey, the policy says this and it's great that you shared this with me, instead of it being, hey Kendra, did you know that the policy said XYZ and you should have told me? And I'm like, ouch, right? So it wasn't a bite ouch, but it still was a critique rather than a friendly, like, hey, welcome thing. So I did practice that later. Once I did learn the policy, I was like, let me tell you in advance what's going on, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I like that. So tell me early, I'm your friend. Tell me late, I'm your critic. I love that. Okay, so it says if you're struggling or at risk of missing a deadline, bring your manager in as soon as possible to work together. That is another thing. Listen, let me tell you something. I am a magician at getting things done in a blink, right? But when I cannot get it done, because sometimes my magic ain't working, sometimes I want to sleep instead of doing this, right? I'm working from home. What'd you expect? So, like sometimes things are just occurring, right? So I am always, I feel like the only way work from home works is because you must communicate. So I definitely, absolutely always advise for you to share with your manager. And I always myself tell my peers and my manager, hey, I am not going to be able to get this done. You know what I mean? And I can see it before we get there, right? So I'm not going to wait until the day of and say, or maybe not the day of, if it is the day of, but before the time that is due, I'm not going to say, hey, I didn't get it done. I'm letting you know, hey, by the way, I don't know. I need a little bit more time. So again, tell me early, I'm your friend. Tell me later, I'm your critic, right? So I totally agree with that. Absolutely. I am in love with this article. Oh, we got a good amount left. Okay, so good. So it says then next is building trust. You want to demonstrate your integrity and your dependability, helps to build a level of trust, and will keep your manager from the urge to micromanage you. The personal values you exhibit are as important as the work you produce. Ooh, yeah, jeez, so many gems. Anywho, the personal values you exhibit are as important as the work you produce. This is absolutely 100% correct. Okay, so it says this is especially important working remotely. Keep your boss surprised. It says, Mr. Aaron said, as it's exhausting tracking people down. They're like reading my heart. I mean, absolutely 100% read my heart. Okay, so I don't want to look for you. I don't. And it's so much harder to look for you when we're virtual and then don't have my boss come ask me where you are, so I love this. Yes, you definitely, oh my goodness, this is amazing. So it says managing up also means shielding your boss from unnecessary work. If you can't get a task done, try to get a colleague to help rather than ask your boss to reassign the task. If you have a question, see if you can find the answer yourself first so you can let your manager know the avenues you tried. I love the build trust. I love it. Kudos to the author. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but yes. Everything that I just read, yes. Okay. So the next tip that they offer is help your manager help you, right? So many professional development opportunities have fallen by the wayside as companies operate in emergency mode or with a leaner staff. One way to stretch yourself, Ms. Newman said, is to offer to take some work off your boss's plate. Your boss will appreciate the break and you may gain exposure to upper level work or visibility. Thanking your boss for giving you the chance to present at a meeting, for taking extra time to share guidance, or for connecting you to his or her network will engender more of the same. The practice of encouraging behaviors you wish to see repeated, used by parents of young children, works for managers as well. The practice of encouraging behaviors you wish to see repeated works for managers as well. The practice of encouraging behaviors you wish to see repeated work for managers as well. If I did the snapping, like we're at a poetry jam session, this person would have all the snaps, all the kudos. I am in love with this article. This is amazing. Yes, again, 10,000 times over. So help your manager help you, yes. All right. So help the team. That's my favorite part. I love the people. Okay, so it says help the team beyond technical skills and work habits. My favorite employees show care and concern. Empathetic team members thinking about the world and people around them and checking in with their coworkers. Keep a team healthy in ways that a sole focus on excellence does not. Every single one, this is like exudes from me. This is absolutely 100% the culture of working for me. This is the culture that I have fostered at every single company that I have worked for. I, again, have always preached I am the social introvert, right? So it's not necessarily that you are my best friend, but I promise you I care. Right? So, and I know those little details. I remember those little details. And I find that by doing that, it helps you enjoy your job more. And if you enjoy your job more, then you will come and give me that excellence, right? If I am treating you in a manner that is not so nice, then, I feel like that creates a hostile work environment and you don't want to be there and I don't want to deal with you. Right? So yes, definitely help the team. You definitely want to help your boss. You want to help your manager help you. When your manager knows that they can count on you, they will invite you into things. They will make sure, and not in a way of, definitely for promotions, you absolutely want to do this, but they will invite you into things that will allow you to expand your skills, to improve your resume. I mean, there's so many benefits. So that's why I said this article is just, it's just making me so happy inside. All right. So it says, understand that your boss may be stressed, work from home. So your boss may seem absent-minded, frenetic, or inconsistent. But that may be a result of other duties, managing the team, interacting with higher ups, and doing his or her own work, not to mention work from home challenges, right? So they may only start thinking about you and your work when you show up to the meeting. And stop thinking about you stop thinking about you and your work when the meeting ends. I love that. So they may only start thinking about you and your work when you show up to the meeting. And stop thinking about you and your work when the meeting ends. If your manager does seem anxious or overwhelmed, try asking, how can I help you? People forget how far that simple question can go to engender a connection, right? So, again, this goes back to help your manager help you. This goes back to bringing recommendations. This connects back to do it before being asked. And this connects back to adopting your manager's style, being able to read your manager and understand that they are a person too, and they are under a lot of stress. They have things that they're dealing with. And as they said, not to mention the work from home challenges, so you want to keep that kind of stuff in mind. And then the next tip is change negative. Oh, okay. It's our last tip. I don't even want this to end. Okay. So it says changing negative behavior. Bad boss, ? Evaluate intent versus impact. Your manager may not realize the amount of stress that his or her short deadlines, vague emails, shifting work assignments. Oh, oh my goodness. This is a good article. Opacity in decision making or last minute changes in direction are causing you. Communicate your concerns dispassionately, stating facts. Our last 3 deadlines moved up unexpectedly. Works better than you always change deadlines at the last minute. And explain how these actions hurt the quality, accuracy, or other aspect of your work product. Changing negative behavior. I'm going to read this again because I love this. Changing negative behavior. Bad boss. Is it a bad boss? So it says evaluate intent versus impact. Your manager may not realize the amount of stress that his or her short deadlines, vague emails, shifting assignments, opacity in decision making, or last minute changes in direction are causing you. Communicate your concerns dispassionately, stating facts. Our last 3 deadlines moved up unexpectedly. Works better than you always change deadlines at the last minute. And explain how these actions hurt the quality, accuracy, or other aspect of your work product. You work with humans. You're working from home, but you are not working alone. You work with humans. None of us are perfect, not even me. Right? Please be mindful. Please be kind. Being kind goes so far. And I like this one because I had to tell myself that, right? That's a good one, right? So everybody is not you, right? So everybody is like, I love it. Evaluate intent versus impact. And always be mindful of how you say. I gave a lesson on this at the last position that I had. I talked about one of my team meetings I had, and I shared this with my boss, was approach, tone, and delivery. I learned that from my ex-husband, right? Approach, tone, and delivery is so important. How you say things is so important. And another thing I learned from him was expect to say it 3 times before the person hears you. But how you say things, and especially as we are living in a virtual world and not always exposed to face-to-face contact, right? Even though we can face-to-face with these devices, a lot of the time we're in chats with each other. We are exchanging emails. We are, in writing, and so you have to be mindful of the tone. Like I said, even the boss I had complimented me on, even when I did have to establish my boundary. And I don't know if I talk about this in this video or another one, but when I had to establish my boundary with a peer, I was very mindful of making sure that I gave the benefit of the doubt. And I listed that in the email, right? I was like, I know you. And I am not under the impression that XYZ, da 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 da. However, keep in mind that that action can come off that way because, again, my mind can create whatever it is because I'm existing in this room, in my office, in my home alone, right? So, approach, tone, and delivery, changing negative behaviors most oftentimes comes with changing your mindset of that behavior. So like you said, you want to evaluate intent versus impact. Listen, that article I loved to pieces, right? So thank you for staying with me and listening to me. And I'm so happy that I found this really wonderful article, and kudos, snaps, circles, all kind of stuff to the author. And I hope you all have a great day. Hello, my name is Kendra, the official business renovator. Welcome to my page. I am so happy to have you here today. And I hope that you enjoy. Of course, feel free to like, share, or comment on the video, as well as follow to get notifications for when I upload any new information. And also the link is in the bio where you can find all of the products that I would like to share with you on how to advance in your career. Some of you may know, and if you're new to my page, you do not know that I did recently release a book called The Great Promotion, where I discuss how I was promoted 4 times in 6 months and received a bonus while working from home. And so my name is Kendra, the official business renovator. Welcome.